All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Grant Hubbard here with Rob Smith. Rob Smith is from Gutter Masters. He's the general manager over there. And today we are going to talk with you guys a little bit about both of us being former installers, now running fairly large businesses. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me today, Rob.
Hey man, thanks for reaching out. I really appreciate it. I can't believe that, I'm on the podcast with Grant Hubbard. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I feel likewise. So we got a chance to meet over at GutterCon, and that's when we really got to start to get to know each other a little bit. And then we spoke on the phone a couple different times just about some stuff. But you had a sentiment today that was really intriguing to me, and I think that we're going to kind of hone this conversation around it. And what was that, if you mind sharing it?
So it's building a company for installers by installers, right? It's the FUBU method, but Phoebe, right?
BB. Yeah. Uh, and that's really important. And we talked a lot about that. But why don't we start off because you're my guest and I'm excited to know more about you, and I'm sure the audience is. Tell us about Rob Smith. How did you get into gutters? What did that look like up until, where you're at now?
Sure thing. So, I had done specialty aluminum construction and rescreens in the early 2000s. And after the fall, of 2008, I moved out to Oklahoma. Found out that the girl I was dating at that point was pregnant. And so decided to leave the job I was at and get back into something that would make real money. And saw that a company that was hiring for a gutter installer. It's like, well, I built pool cages. Why can't I build gutter systems, right? It's just instead of screws into metal, it's just screws into wood, right? So
Let's go.
um,
Yeah.
I had a great training program, best in the world. So I got up on a ladder. My manager at that time said, "Here's how you do an inside corner. Here's how you do an outside corner. If you need anything else, I'm going to be gone for the rest of the day, but look on YouTube."
I love it. You don't have to say the actual name, but like what location was this? Just out of curiosity.
This was out
Was
of
this in
Oklahoma
Florida?
City.
Out of Oklahoma City?
Yeah, out of
I love
Oklahoma
it.
City.
Okay.
So I used to live right near Bricktown, and I had
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, we what is it? I worked out there for, I want to say 3 years before I got hurt. After I got hurt, I kind of left that industry behind for a while. Went and was a pawnbroker for the last 2 years that I was there in Oklahoma. Moved back here in
Okay.
moved back here in 2015. Was able to convince someone to give me a chance selling gutters. I was like, look, I've been an installer. Nobody's going to be able to sell like I can because I understand, exactly what their house needs. And call it my ADD, whatever. I kind of, whenever I look at a house, I see exactly how the gutter should flow, how the water's going to flow. And I was scared as heck, man. I didn't think that I thought I was going to bomb out. And the guy offered to pay me $500 a week till I got my book of business started. And I never took a bucket check. That first week I sold almost $10,000 worth of gutter, and it was off to the races after that. So
There we go. There we go.
absolutely, man. Unfortunately, me and that company had a parting of the ways a few years ago. And so I kind of struck out on my own. I was helping a friend of mine make videos, redoing pool cages, and just having fun. Where I got recruited to the position I'm at now by Damien, I get a phone call and said, "Hey, I got your name from the old owner," and was told that if I want to take my business to the next level, if I want to do more than $1 million a year in gutters, you're my guy. And so I never ran the entire show before. So to be honest, I was pretty scared, and suffered with imposter syndrome for a while, right? Because look, I'm a podunk kid.
Wow.
I'm a
Wow.
podunk kid
That's
from the
huge.
woods.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up on a farm. I'm not a tech guy. I mean, I kind of am now. I've been forced to do so. Before this position, man, I never used Microsoft Office. Didn't know anything about spreadsheets. Didn't know nothing about CRMs. Right. So I'm kind of proof that it doesn't matter where you came from. It matters what you want to do and what you want to put your energy into.
This podcast is sponsored by One Gutter Guard, the premium gutter guard that delivers the highest performance, quality, and value to your customers. From its different mesh filters to its unibody construction, One Gutter Guard can be the difference maker in your business. Are you interested in becoming part of the exclusive dealer network? Contact them today at onegutterguard.com or just give them a call. Now back to our show. Um, I'm gonna have you co-host a podcast with me. Well, can I get you to commit to do that? Let's do it sometime in the next 3 weeks, months, whatever. Will you?
Let's do it.
You're a natural already, and I like your microphone.
Hey, well, it's
Look at that.
so you got the black and red, I got the white and blue, right? So it's red versus blue today.
And I'm a huge blue fan. Anybody that knows me knows I love blue and gray. I'm not the biggest red fan. This is the only one they had. But prior to this one, I did own another one that was blue. And Kip Keppel, who is my boss and partner, I think so highly of that guy. But I wanted to do a podcast with him, so he didn't have a microphone. So I gave him the blue one.
Oh man.
And almost every day I regret it. It's so petty, but um and now because I travel and do things, I think I have like 5 or 6 different microphones. But this one has been tried and true. When something works really well, right, you stick with it. I'm inspired by your story because you hit the nail on the head. Like I wasn't brought up. My dad was an engineer, so I was brought up with a lot of logic, but I wasn't necessarily brought up with many computer skills. And being an 80s 90s baby, we just didn't have a lot of computers. And then by the time I was 16 and mid 90s, I started hanging gutter. Like I was like you said, I was off to the races. I was like, wow, this is great money. Even back then as a kid I was doing it. And here it is, um how many ever years later, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta learn the computer, I gotta learn the spreadsheets, and I'm still not the greatest at those. I'll never act like I am. Now fortunately for Kip, he's like, when someone starts teaching you something and you feel like that you're about to acquire a bunch of knowledge, either you push it away or you dive into it, and I'm really diving into
Oh
it with
yeah.
him because he's a smooth teacher. He's got really good teaching tactics. So I'm super blessed by that. And then now that I have my gutter growth team around me, I mean, these guys are levels above me in business that I just aspire to be. And, I can teach guys how to hand cut corners and talk to guys and stuff. But hey, I'm a lifelong learner and I want to keep learning. I remember, and I'd like you to speak on this a little bit. I remember though, 10, 15 years ago, maybe even as much as 8 years ago. I try to be very open about my growth. But I was like, you can't teach me shit about gutters. There's your first curse word. What are we at? We're 4 minutes in. We're 4 minutes in. It's okay. Look, we just
All
peeled the
right.
tape off.
Oh yeah.
um, but were you ever at that point, or were you a little bit more humble with it? I was like, you can't teach me nothing about gutters. I could do payroll, I could schedule jobs. I was doing all of it on paper. Like anybody could do it the way I was. This was again 10, 12 years ago, but
Yeah, well, I think whenever you're younger, you have a little bit of a different mindset. The way the world should work. You know what you're doing. Nobody can tell you anything. And as you get older, man,
yeah,
it's like you start to know what you don't know. It's like with anything new. At first you don't know
yeah,
what you don't know, and then you start to know what you don't know, and then I don't think you ever really master it, right? I mean, it's business. It's
ye-
ever changing. Every single day. You know, whenever uh, whenever I was in sales, I never would have thought of trying to use AI or any
right,
computer for anything. I mean, I couldn't
yeah.
use a spreadsheet to be able to calculate profits and what I needed to sell gutter at or anything. I was fortunate to have Damien help me a lot with that, kind of point me in the direction of what I needed to go. And then really, I mean, for the first 6 months here, I think I pulled 16, 17-hour days, and then I'd go home, get the family down to bed, hop right back on and keep going. I think I've watched
Mm.
every tutorial that Microsoft has on Word, Excel, Publisher, everything. So,
Well, we um currently basically have the same title. So you went from installer, you told us that story, and that's what we want to do. Any of you installers, because I want to make sure on this podcast that we're not just speaking to owners and executives and salespeople and maybe people that Google or YouTube gutters because they're thinking about buying. I have definitely have followers that are installers, and you too can do what we did, which was come off of the back of the truck and run a high level business. So you're now the general manager of Gutter Masters. correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, well, I'm not big into titles, I mean, I am for my
I
guys,
am.
right? Because,
Yeah.
it's, what do you call me? The HMFIC, right? If I could have that on my door, I'm good. But other than that, man, I tell everybody I have the easy job, right? My job is to make everybody's life and job easier, right? And so
Yeah, for
it's,
sure.
it's, it's my job to give my guys the leadership and the tools that they need to succeed. And if they want to get off the truck, and they want to do what I've done and progress along, I mean, absolutely. I mean, look, you're only able to install for what, maybe 10, 15 years before you start breaking down. Then after that, what are you going to do? I mean, you have to change your mode of thinking, right? And your
Mhm.
way of being, right? So you have to elevate yourself. So like I was saying earlier, it's like whenever you're an installer, right? That's kind of the ground floor, right? So you're kind of in the middle of all the trees. And then you get into sales, you're kind of cruising through the treetops, and you're making better money than you were as an installer. You're not breaking your back anymore. But then look, the last day, the day you make your last sale is the last bit of money you're going to make. And so the only natural progression, well, for me anyway, was to go to ascend higher than that. Now I feel like I'm a pilot. I fly above all the business at 10,000 feet, looking down at all the trees, and just putting all the parts and pieces together and trying to help as many people as I can.
Yeah, fabulous. I think it's encouraging for a business to, in their culture, to have vision, which is what I do with my guys. I let them know, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with this, but I just let them know, like, you can have my job. You should healthily be coming after my job. So we talked to guys and we spoke about this on the phone a little bit about my Leaders Building Leaders program, right?
Very
And the
interested in
idea
that.
is, yeah, the idea is to replace yourself. And there's a certain, you hit the nail on the head, right? There's a certain age, different for everyone, that you kind of wake up and you go, okay, this is a different world than I thought I was living in. But what I mean by that is at a certain level of immaturity, when you tell someone to replace themselves, they think, I'm losing my job.
Yeah.
This guy's going to get more money than me. Why in the heck would I show this guy everything I know so that I can walk my way out of a career? And that's understandable because of what many owners have done to people. I think we have to acknowledge that they have used people to build up somebody different, and then maybe there was some tension and then they just fire you.
Yeah.
Like in this day and age, I would say majority of people, and I know some of these people specifically, if you were to go to them and say, yeah, I think I'm going to start looking for another job, or I think I might want to, they're going to fire you immediately.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
if you're gonna, but then there's some people, and I'm one of those people, and so is Kip, that if you came to us and said, "Hey, I just have topped out here, and you guys have worked with me, and or this just isn't for me, and I think I'd like to go work for the competitor because it's 30 minutes closer drive, whatever. But I'd really like to finish out strong this next month. I'm getting married, and they're offering me a different." Absolutely. Why would I fire you for wanting to better yourself? So, but back to the replacing, I teach these guys to replace themselves because lead with the leaders building leaders. All that means is if I can get someone to replace me, so I do like titles. It's something that I like. I like jewelry and clothes and titles, and I like giving, but I like titles. So when Kip was like, "Hey, you're gonna officially be the general manager next year," I was like, "Nah." On Google, it says director of operations is higher than general manager. I want that.
Yeah.
I want to hire a general manager one day. And he was like, it's yours. Whatever, dude. I don't care. So that's I like it. It's a little snazzier to me. But it's all the same thing. I'm a manager of all the divisions, all the general divisions that the company runs. And I want to replace myself.
Oh,
Because for
absolutely.
me, that means if I could hire two more general managers, that means I'm probably running what, 10 locations or something.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a different way of thinking. And that's what I talk to my guys about. Like, give all your knowledge away. Like, just give it away. If you want to be a professor and charge people for your knowledge, then do that in your spare time or go be a professor. But here, just make everyone great around you. I always tell people I use a lot of sports analogies. Michael Jordan doesn't win these things. Kobe Bryant, these guys don't win these championships by themselves. And obviously, in a franchise model, which we are, we're highly competitive with other locations around the country, right? Because we
Oh
share
yeah.
revenue and stuff like that. And we're like, oh man, this this city's beating us by 100,000 this year. Or we want to hold the new record. So there's all this competitiveness. And I'm like, there's no point of being an all-star on a losing team, right? You just you gotta have to be able to assist and guide and lead and show up to practices and do all that stuff. I mean, that's my 2 cents on that.
Sure, man. I mean, it'd be like putting LeBron on the Timberwolves, right? They'd still never go anywhere. So, but
Very
no, I
true.
mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, part of what I feel, part of what our job is general managers, director of operations, whatever you want to call me, is
We're the managers, right?
yeah, is
Head
to
honchos. Yeah.
find jobs, create the processes and systems around those jobs, find somebody to do that job, move on to the next one, right? And so
Rinse and
that's
repeat.
literally what it is. Yeah, because look, as good as you may be at something, if you want to grow, you can't do everything, right? Unless you're, going to China and cloning yourself or something, right? But
Hmm.
I don't have CRISPR in my closet, so I have to be able to source talent and put somebody where they're going to shine, right? And reveal their strong suits, and then put them in the position where they're best going to succeed. They're going to make money. They're going to be happy doing what they're doing,
I like
because
that.
look, if you throw a fish out of an airplane, it's not going to fly no matter how much it wants to, right? But now you put that
Right.
same fish
Right.
in the water, he's going to swim everywhere. And so, some people's strong suit is installing. Some people's strong suit is management. Some is teaching. I was lucky enough to be able to finally get some real muscle in my office and have a great admin in here now, to where we
Nice.
can make some big headway this year and take some of that weight off my shoulders. With the understanding that whoever sits in the chair next to me is going to end up sitting in my chair. But once they sit in my chair, that's because I've got 2, 3 locations, and
Right.
I can't sit here and run day-to-day operations for one location. It's just impossible.
Absolutely. Those systems come into play. The admin is so helpful, right? Because I know that path now. Um, so my wife Lisa is now our admin administrator
Yeah, I heard that.
production. I mean, she does so much for us, and she's so. I mean, sometimes I mess with her, and I don't know if you've seen it on the podcast. When I ask her, I'm like, "Man, how do you know so much about gutters? This is crazy." When she first started, it's because I'm 24/7 gutters, right? And she
Yeah,
just
man. Oh,
emulated what she saw. So
yeah.
I got really, really fortunate. And of course, there's generally in workplace there's a code, right? You're not going to hire a husband and wife. It's a lot of eggs in one basket.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't. I never. I remember the first time I said that on a podcast, I kind of caught myself and I was like, man, I shouldn't be really saying that openly because it might start to make the owners stink. Well, of course they thought it through. And I think they just went all in. They said this team is great. Hopefully they stick with us for a long time. And um they give us a lot of leeway in our systems and design. And then they also it's their company. They have structure that they like. But I like the way they don't kick us in the fucking balls. Because I've worked for people that aren't there and then they just show up and they kick everyone in the balls and then they leave and they go, why is everybody so unhappy around here?
Yeah, I
Like
wonder
you just
why.
came in and slammed everyone's finger. And Kip and Brooke are more like a chin up. I was coaching someone the other day and I used that and I'm going to use that a little more. They'll come in and they'll just say, hey, chin up. You need to focus on this. We'll just ask, can you focus on this? They'll put it into our management software and then it's there. You know what I mean? And I like the way that I really enjoy working for them because of those tactics.
Yeah, I mean, our business is owned by a husband and wife team, and my boss Damien, he made his money in tech and logistics, and we're fortunate to have both of them on. And what a lot of people don't think about is the benefits of something like that. I mean, the way that our business is structured, we're positioned to be able to get more government contracts because of the way that we've structured the business, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking. I don't want to say with who, but there are some.
Oh, please tell. Please give
Yeah,
the address,
no,
the name, the
I
number.
yeah, right. Go ahead, give
I'll
you
get a
all
hold
my
of Ryan.
secrets.
I'll get a hold of Ryan Yaron for you over at RG. I don't
Oh
know
man,
anything.
no. Well,
Okay,
look,
so you're
if
working a nice government project.
Yeah. So, well, that's what
Sweet.
we're working on nailing down. So, the owner is involved in a few different business groups and stuff like that here. And so through one of his meetings, he got to meet somebody that are getting a $500 million contract, right? For different, right.
I like to go
So,
wild every now and then. I need some sound effects or something. That's gonna be the next. I'm gonna not to interrupt you. I know you got some
yeah.
owner and some groups. I'm gonna get a soundboard soon, and I'm gonna have one that's called the Rob Smith, and it's gonna be the freaking crowd goes wild.
Oh, dude.
$500 million contract. That's
Yeah.
gonna be
So,
insane.
now this is earmarked. That's the entire project, right? It's 500
Right, of
million,
course, no, no,
but
there's big stuff in it. Yeah,
90 million of that has to go to minority businesses, right? And that's what a lot of
yeah.
people don't think about, especially these guys that, they want to have control of their business and that they want that bravado, oh, it's my company, I own this. Well, if your
Mm-hmm.
wife owns 51% of your company, guess what? Now you're a minority business, right? Now, whenever you go to state and county contracts, federal contracts, stuff like that, 28% of the money that they spend has to be in minority businesses, right? And
Uh-huh.
so a lot of the jobs that are going to be coming through our division here aren't even going to be in gutters, right? I mean, just because gutters in your name doesn't mean that's all you have to do, right? Now you do
Right.
have to
Yeah, yeah, for
strategically
sure.
place yourself, right? Because there is such thing as being spread too thin. But if you have good project managers, and good people around you, then you can sort of delegate some of those responsibilities and use your business as a pass through and make money as a middleman. I don't have to touch any material. I don't have to do any labor. I don't have to worry about payroll. I don't have to worry about none of that. All I have to do is make sure that my project manager is squared away and that the jobs we've got flowing through, he's monitoring all the subs are going to be fulfilling all of those contracts, and Roadworks wins.
I love it. That's really cool. So we just did we have an ongoing government contract for
Nice.
HUD homes. Yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty nice. I don't they're basically Section 8, smaller, like one-story apartment, like more like townhomes.
Oh, so
And they
that's
just
man, that's an installer's dream right there. You kidding me?
it
Flat
is the
fascia, one
installer's dream.
story.
It's they're not this particular one isn't flat fascia, but I'll give you an example of what um Hubert and Boris did. And I talked about this in our but they did it, I want to say not this week, but the 2 weeks before. They did $60,000 in gutters, two guys in 2 weeks.
Holy crap, man.
Now that that's how they do it. It's slanted fascia. We use T wedge bumpers on there. It
Yeah.
had guard. I want to say, we were mid sevens on the gutter, right? I mean, you're running. It's a volume buy. The government pays well. We were paid 2 days from when we were done. It's like the third project we done for them. It's splash guards, guard, 6-inch cutters, 3x4 downspouts, one after another. We love it, and
Nice.
we're in with them now, and they pay well. We
Yeah,
love it.
man.
So
I mean,
congrats on getting that. When you have to go down to like the $5-6 a foot on like 4-story apartments, if that's what your company chooses to do,
oh
those
God, no.
margins aren't as great. But being around $7 on, whatever it was, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 feet of gutter and downspouts and guard, those are dream. We had one truck do 60 grand in 2 weeks, like,
Dude, that's
and they
beautiful,
loved
man.
it. They made like $6,000 each, right?
Yeah.
So in
I
two
mean,
weeks, they
that's
were happy as.
man, 60,000. I never claimed that, I was the God's gift to installing, right? Which I mean, I was a good installer, but 60,000
Mhm.
in 2 weeks, that's incredible.
I'm not going to say I've done that, and I think I am one of the best in the country. Now, definitely not anymore, but I'm hats off to those guys because they did it. I didn't. It's their shine. I've had mine. I'm so proud of that team. I'm so proud of my entire company right now, including, and saying this respectfully, the two owners, the way they conduct themselves and believe in us and let me spend money on things that are continuously making them money. We just ended the first quarter and we did our scorecard and they're like, let's do
Nice.
this more. And
You
so
know,
that
man.
makes me really happy because that is my purpose, is to make
y-
the money.
Yeah, man.
It's
Well, I
really
mean,
just a purpose.
I mean, at the end of the day, that is why we're here, right? That's why we go into work before the sun comes up. That's why we're home after the sun goes down, right? It's not just because of charitable reasons, right? I mean, which
No,
charity does play a part of it, but at the end of the day, we're here to take care of our family, right? We're here to put food on the plate, and really, it's about security. Making sure our
the
family's
security.
secure. You know,
Talk to
and
me about charity really quick, because I know you're
oh
doing
man,
something big.
so
Can we talk about it or?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, no names, no
Yeah,
locations, but no.
understood. Yep.
So I posted up again today with Debbie and Lacey. Lacey was supposed to come by the office and take some photos and everything with us. Instead, I ripped a photo off of her Facebook and not made fun of her, but pointed her out, right? Because she wasn't going to be able to come by. And
Lacey,
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, and
hats off to Lacey. That's my
if
girl. I got to spend some time with her in the past couple weeks. There we
there we
go.
go.
Spectra, baby. Hey, your team
Oh
Spectra,
yeah.
right? For the most part.
Oh yeah, man. Look, I love those guys. We spent
Yeah.
the majority of the money that we spent last year on materials was with Spectra. The only time that I really go anywhere else, is if it's something that they don't carry, right? As
Yep.
far
That's
as
it.
yeah, I mean, if somebody is a couple cents cheaper on something miters or end caps, I really don't care because it's about the
Mm-mm.
quality of the customer service. And
Their
anytime that I've ever
customer
had any
service
issues,
is so good.
dude, are you kidding me? Anytime that I've ever had an issue, I reach out to Lacey. Lacey is on the phone like that, right? Whenever I contacted her about this project that we're doing tomorrow, she
Mhm.
goes, "Hey, you know what? I got you. Let me get back to you with a definite answer, but I'm fairly confident I can make this happen for you." And so I kind of took a page out of Bren's book, right? Because at GutterCon, the two biggest sponsors were Alurex and Spectra, and
Yep.
Alurex is a product that I'm really trying to push down here because I mean, it's not in the Orlando market at all. I mean, almost
That,
nobody's using it down here. And
hmm
so after I found Alurex at the first GutterCon I went to in 2023, I reached out to Debbie because I wanted to be able to give. Uh, I wanted to give Miss Jen, we'll call her, right? Name has been changed for the
Yep.
story, her
Yep.
protection. But
Yep.
so for Miss Jen, right, I wanted to give her the best leaf guard hanger combination that's on the market, right? So that's Alurex, and they came out strong. I mean, they gave us double pro, and then my next conversation was with Lacey, and Lacey said, "Absolutely no problem, I got you." And for anyone to come out of their pocket and say, look, I'm not going to benefit from this directly, but I'm going to, I'll give you the materials you need to go and serve your community for free. That was huge. And they're going to be the only people that we buy from, period. I mean, the only way that we won't buy from them is, well, I guess for
They
pool
don't have the
cages, right?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
If they
they
don't
don't
have the
have it,
stuff.
because I mean, we do a lot of pool cage work. So that is one thing that we've kind of made our specialty here. So we do a lot of retrofits on pool cages. And so, say a customer had, oh, bro, how do you get one of those? That's what I want.
How much money you got to spend to get one of these is the question. You could probably buy 74,000 of them. Um,
I'll have to
I'll
look them
call
up
Lacey.
online and
I'll call Lacey for you. Don't worry about it.
all right,
I'll
man.
call Lacey for you. This thing right. I see. I don't. You see, I have some advertisements around here, right? I mean, One Gutter
Oh
Guard
yeah,
sponsors the podcast. Kozowski Group is amazing. I don't know if you can see this recoiler. There's part
yeah.
of it here.
Actually, we've been looking at those. So because we want to
Okay,
start doing bulk buys.
yeah, there's nobody better. Get a hold of them, those guys, and go back and watch my podcast with them. Those guys are brilliant.
Oh, I
I
saw
got
it.
the Trip Edge roller. You know about that, man.
Oh
That
yeah,
thing's
man. I love that thing. What's
that
funny
thing
is
went on
that
fire.
I think every gutter guy, right, has always thought about like how can I stop bending over and pulling drip, man? Because that was
Oh
the worst
man,
part to me, dude. Like that,
absolute worst.
especially because look, I've never really been a little guy, right? And
Okay,
so bending over that gut's kind of hard, right? So
it is.
especially whenever you're on a 2-story roof and it's an 812 and you're staring down,
Yeah,
25 feet to
yeah,
the ground, you're like, oh, this could be my last day. But
yeah.
I made my guys a drip edge puller out of what is it? I took flat bars, heated them
Yep.
up with oxygen acetylene torch, bent them around, put a little extender on there, so you can just
Nice. Yeah.
reach over, you stand up on the edge of the roof, put
Yeah.
it under
Yeah.
there, and
And
pull it
just
up.
give it the. Yep.
Yeah, man. But that I like that, man. It just seems so much easier. So you don't even have
You know
to
what's
bend down
wild?
at all.
These things sell like hot fire. It's absolutely insane. But I was just showing the cooler because, hey, Spectra, I need some advertising, man. I don't know if you know, so I'm partnered with Spectra. The Gutter Growth as well is partnered with
Oh
Spectra.
yeah.
I'm an ambassador for them. I've been dealing with Spectra for a long time. I love their customer service as well. Um, but yeah, we're going to be doing the summit. We're going to be
Yeah.
announcing it in the next week or two.
I can't
Um,
wait.
everybody's going to hear about what we're doing there. It's going to be really big, and it's going to be all about a new level of growth. And we'd love to have a guy like you over there, um, just representing the industry. We're going to have a lot of people there. Um,
Uh,
real quick, have you seen these? What do you know about these things? The gutter
the
gates.
gutter gate, man. Look, I've been looking at those and have been thinking about using them and offering those.
Yeah,
It's here in Florida, man. We have a lot of wildlife. I mean,
I'm familiar.
my neighbor took the solar off the top of her house because she had raccoons crawling up her 4x5 downspouts and nesting underneath her solar panels. Right.
I don't believe it.
We've had a couple of jobs where my guys will call me and up on a ladder and go, "Hey man, I got eyes staring at me." Like, what are you talking about? He goes, "Well, you sent me out here to replace this soffit, man. I hear something running around and it's just like eyes glowing in the darkness."
Oh my
It's like,
goodness.
oh no. All right. So definitely something like that is really awesome. It's
Did I get to send you one of these yet?
no, man. I saw him at GutterCon, but
I had my gutter
I
cut.
haven't actually got to
Okay,
play with it yet.
let me get you one sent over, and then let's talk about you being a dealer. I have a
Okay.
fabulous price and friend discount for you as well. And I don't want to do a sales pitch on here. We got them in 2x3, obviously an A and B. This is a B. We
Yep.
got them in 3x4, A and B, different
Okay.
colors, etc. We are rolling out currently right now 4-inch round. So
Nice.
that's going to be pretty wild right there. And then, you know what I love about it, man, that I think you'll really appreciate is once you are driving past houses and you see that elbow just wide open, and
Yeah.
then you put these on them, you can never unsee that hideous hole that's at the bottom of a downspout. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but on top of that, one of the things that one of the issues that I've always had is right is whenever you put downspouts in the backyard, customer has kids, right? They're running around the backyard. They
The
always want to know
safety.
exactly, and now you got a plastic cover that one, I mean, no critters are going to get up in your gutter, and two,
Mhm.
if your kid runs by it and accidentally hits it with their foot, it's not going to cut them wide open. Because I don't
Same
know
as the
about,
dog, that dog that likes to run back and forth. Same as the weed whip. If you take a weed whip to an A elbow or a B elbow, it's toast.
oh
This thing
man.
right here, you can drive over and it can easily take a weed whip. So there's just
So
a whole bunch of reasons to have those.
what's the upcharge for the one that's branded for gutter growth?
Do you want this one? I'll put it in the mail and send it to you. So
Yeah, man.
we are not offering them with company names and stuff
Oh
like that
yeah,
on the front.
it was a
I
joke,
have
man.
these made.
So
No, no, of course, but let me send you one, of course. Here,
okay, heck yeah,
I'll
man.
throw it on one. I'll get it mailed on over to you, man.
I'll
And
I will need 3x4 because unlike Texas, we get real rain down here.
right now we have monsoons, and I don't know if you know. Do you how long how long have you known of me or me?
Shoot,
Like
man.
just GutterCon? Did we just meet at Gutter? We just met at GutterCon. Is that a first passing or?
That was our first passing. Now we do have a mutual friend, Randy. You had actually posted up not too long ago about what is it? I think he'd
Randy
got
Stubbs.
some. Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually used
Yeah.
to work with Randy at the gutter company that I was a salesman for,
You
and
know how I know Randy?
no clue, man. How'd you
He
meet
used to
Randy?
work for me.
No
He used to
shit.
work for me.
Okay,
You know where? Do you know where?
here in Florida.
Here in Florida, I only been in Texas for 5 years, bro. I know how it rains in Florida.
Oh man,
I'm a Florida gutter dog. You might not have known that.
that's funny because see, you're a Florida gutter dog. I'm actually from Texas, so I was born outside of Houston.
I
So,
love it. Hey, H Town, man, what's up? Outside of Houston, where?
so a little town called Channelview. So
Oh, I
I've
would
been,
have no clue because I'm from Florida, where Channelview is. That's
yeah, right.
awesome.
No,
I
it's
had no clue that you were from Texas, bro.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's look, I would have showed you my tattoo, but it might have been a little inappropriate, you know. It's that and
It's all
my
good.
admin is in here in the office with me, so I can't start disrobing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So Florida gets some real rain. So when I moved here, I moved from Wellington is where my house was. I was working in Boynton Beach, Delray
Okay.
Beach area.
Nice.
But I've guttered for some companies in Orlando and Celebration area, St. Cloud area, down to like skipping that whole area all the way down to like Palm Beach area, and then Palm Beach all the way down to the Keys. I mean, I wouldn't say all the houses, but a majority of those massive mansions on both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
I did a 10% of them or 5%, a lot of those homes. So yeah, a lot of my family lived in Florida, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first started doing gutters, I was in Michigan, and we had the snow and we had all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I eventually traveled down early 2000s. I traveled down to Texas on vacation, met a woman, had some kids. Um, didn't really work out, started doing some traveling, but my family was in Florida. And Florida was the place that I learned the hand tab. That first 10 years in Florida was when I really went from just a gutter installer to, a force to be reckoned with. So I always credit just the Florida culture for making me step up my gutter game, you know? So it was
Absolutely,
good. It
man.
was good stuff.
It
Now
rains here
Texas
like
heat
nowhere
ain't,
else, man.
but
Oh,
y'all ain't got that heat. You got that little baby humidity over there in Orlando.
baby humidity, bro. Are you kidding me? 100 degrees with 110% humidity? Come on now. I mean,
Baby humidity compared to Houston, man. You know that.
now y'all definitely got the heat out there though, man. But
It's
I'll
wild. It's hot
remember.
everywhere in the country for sure nowadays. It's just hot
Oh God.
everywhere.
Look, nothing compares to living in Oklahoma, man. It's 9 o'clock at night, still 115 degrees. Are you kidding me?
It
No.
is wild up there. It is wild. Um, do you know where Earlsboro, Shawnee area is?
Know where Shawnee
So
is?
it's Yeah, Shawnee, and then there's Earlsboro. So one of my closest friends in the world lives up there. So I spent a lot of summers up in Oklahoma. It's crazy. Like you said, when you're younger, you think you know everything, and then you get older and you know what you don't know, and then you're like, there's different kinds of heat. Like in Florida, it's
Oh
hot and
yeah.
sweaty, and then in Dallas, that dry heat, it's like holy, it's hot. And then in Oklahoma, it's wild hot, and then it's humid in Houston, and then San Antonio is just like you just want to die. So segueing into what we started off talking about, installers becoming general managers, running bosses, head mofos in charge. I remember in Florida when I was the manager and doing sales, and I was selling 1 million plus a year, and I was doing it really easily because I knew how to sell gutters and great
Yeah.
personality and dress the part, play the part. People just loved me out there. But I remember when I didn't have to be on that damn ladder no more. And I was
Oh,
like, I don't ever want to go back ever. And of course now it hasn't been many, many years. And like you, I'm sure, we still go out and get on a ladder and show the boys we know what's up and lead from the front. But hey, installers, get to where we are because we appreciate what y'all do, but I'm not going back. There's no way.
yeah, no, man. If I had to go back on a truck tomorrow, I think I'd get fired. I don't even think I'd make the cut, right? I'd be fired
No,
my first couple of days because I went
my
out and
body
was
couldn't
help.
do it either.
Man, I was helping the guys on a pool cage on what is this Friday? So Tuesday, right? I'm just now starting to feel better. Half a day
Yeah.
installing, 2 days down. I'm like, oh man. Now, granted, I do have injured knees. I did have surgery in November of last year, so I'm still not at 100%. But
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
still, I used to be able to go all day, every day, no problems. And now, man, I get out there, I feel like the old man at the party. It's horrible.
I have no qualms. I tell my guys all the time, like, you guys could beat me up, you could trip me.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, we did a call tech, we did a call tech system the other day,
Nice. So you got
and
into that. That's awesome.
yeah, they flew out. So I give credit where it's due. Frank, he told me about this product,
Yeah.
and I ran with it. That's how everybody finds out about stuff, right? Somebody tells them,
Yeah.
like, me nor him is the inventor of this. He knows the old owner or something. He's tied in. He does a lot of this stuff. Frank does. Um, Prior to knowing about this, though, I'm not going to say I was total newbie. I would design these myself out of different things. Were they as good? No. Were they structurally sound? Absolutely. Do I still know people that have Hubbard makeshift Tech filtration things in their yard that have been working for 15 years? Absolutely. But this was a lot easier to purchase and buy. So, um, yeah,
Very
I
interested in
bought.
that.
Let's talk about this. You want to talk with him about it? You could talk with me about it. It doesn't matter. But I'm distributing these around the country currently. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm distributing these. I have them for sale at a really good price. I partnered with Ctech on it. Um, I don't do storm drain and stuff like that. That's completely different. There's other
Yep.
people that are experts at that. But putting Ctechs in the ground with the provisions that they've taught me on and what I know about it, fake work. You don't need a whole bunch of crazy stuff. The margins on them, you can buy them for under $1,000, and you should be selling them for 5 to 7 thousand. And you
Oh,
drop them
easy.
in the ground and cover them up.
Are you kidding me,
Boom.
man? Look, you know how Florida
So
likes to
let's
build
go.
houses. So, I mean,
Yep. No,
there's,
these are great. I'll fly out sometime, and I'll personally. We'll talk about this, me and you. I'll help
okay.
you get. I'll help you get going. You got my word on that. Yep.
Heck yeah, man. No, let's, me, you, and Damien will sit down because after GutterCon, because I talked with Frank about it briefly and
Okay.
had told him about it. And that is
Now,
one
if you got
thing
something going with Frank, I don't. You know what I mean. I don't want to pull the rug from that. If you've already made an engagement with that, that's cool. But
I
if
have
not,
no commitments right there. You see, no,
okay.
there's besides the tattoo, I have no ring on my finger. Oh wait, honey,
Let's.
I love you, but um,
Hey. Well, I'll commit to you to showing you the way on this, man, and getting you
sure.
set up. If regardless if it works for you or not, I'm not gonna feel no type of way. So the margins in that are amazing.
Look, at the end of the day, man, I want to be able to take care of all my clients, right? And if they have a
Yeah.
need, even if it's not through me, I want to be able to help fulfill that need, right? That's
Yep.
part of why I got
Yep.
in the position I am in the first place. It's because I care more about those around me than I do about myself. And I think really to kind of bring it full circle, that's part of
Yeah.
how I got to where I'm at, right? Is because I stopped just caring about myself and what I'm making today. I stopped focusing, on how much money am I getting paid today? How much footage am I getting to install today? How much
Yes,
am I
sir.
going to make this week? And started caring more about the guys around me that I was bringing up, the new guys that are on, am I going to have a good teammate? If that guy's on my truck, he better know his stuff. So in order for him to know his stuff, I got to be a good teacher. And so,
Yes. Wow, you hit the nail on the head right there. Tell me more. Yeah.
yeah, man. So you have to start caring about more than just yourself, right? And stop focusing inward and start looking around you and look to who you can help. And then what is it? I think Zig Ziglar said, the more people you help, the more you help yourself, right?
Let's
And
go.
it's true universally, right? Because the more you lift other people up, the more you're going to end up getting lifted up because you don't have to worry about all the little things. And especially if you're on a truck right now, if you've trained the guy that rides in the truck with you next to you every single day, then he's going to be better. If he's better, you get jobs done faster, which means you make more money. Right. Mm-hmm. Same thing if as a salesman, whenever, and that's kind of whenever it started is whenever I ascended to sales. Yeah, I worried about my paycheck, sure, but I cared more about keeping the guys moving and keep making sure that everybody had work than I did about my own paycheck. And just by taking care of those guys, that's how I made over a million. That's how I sold over $1 million every year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
now in management, I have to care about every member on my team. Am I saying I'm best friends with everybody that I work with? That I absolutely adore everybody. No, I'm a rough guy. Look, I'm in construction. There's sometimes construction happens, right? And so
Yes.
it's And what I
Sometimes
say,
reconstruction happens too.
that's right, man. You know, but like I said, fucking gutter guys, right? Sometimes we butt heads.
It
But
happens, right? It's about how you that's about how you get back up from that though.
yeah,
And can you do it with some tact and keep moving forward and like shit ain't got to be so personal. I tell the guys all the time, and you might take a I took a lot from you today, and I'm going to continue to learn from you. I tell my guys all the time, and I'm sure you've heard this in the industry, right? They're like, man, I'm the best gutter installer at this company, right? I'm the best. I'm so good at gutters. Now, mind you, they might be fabulous at gutters. But I go put my arm around one of my other employees and I pull him up and I go, you're amazing at gutters. No wife, no kids, broken car, no money. You look like a jabroni. This guy's not so great at gutters. Married to a beautiful wife, good spirituality, great credit, home. So he's great at life and you're good at gutters. I think you should probably shut up
yeah.
because
Or maybe they
gutters
should
is
talk
just
more and learn from each other. You
well,
know?
exactly. But I mean, all the boasting. And I listen. I was that guy myself. I know that firsthand because I used to have to tell people how good I was at gutters, and people knew it. And putting that, I want to shout out my team at Gutter Growth. I want to be really open about something here because I like to be vulnerable in front of other people because that's I think when people learn the most. It wasn't very long ago in the past 2 to 3 years that when you were talking about giving, that I was giving. And when I say giving, I mean, and my wife can testify to this, I mean 40 or 50 hours a week on the phone outside of work,
Yeah.
giving knowledge. I would never say no to anyone. I would talk till 1 or 2 in the morning. I would start talking at 8 a.m. on Saturday. I could run through 9 or 10 people on Saturday, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people on Sunday. I mean, it's 1, 2 in the morning. I got to be up at 4:30 to go to work. And I was burning myself out, but I started to get a little bit insecure as I came into my 40s. I was getting insecure because I was saying, I know I give the most. And I wasn't like walking around recording it, right? Like people they give homeless people money and they record it
Oh
and
man, I
say,
hate
look at
that
what I
stuff.
and sometimes it's okay if someone else is recording it, right? And we do need good acts recorded and put up because everything else is just freaking world star and
Well, it's
Kanye and Diddy, right?
inspirational.
It's inspiration. So as long as it's lightly. But about 2 years ago, I was like, I'm giving so much, and is this all I'm gonna be? Is just a gutter guy? And I don't mean on the truck. I was already off the truck. Am I just gonna be a manager for gutters my whole life? Like, you want to aspire to have more companies and invest in stuff. And I remember I pushed through and I kept giving. I'm a Christian, and I just kept pushing and pushing. And about a year ago, I was talking with someone and I remember having this feeling come over me like, you're so close, Grant. And at that exact same time, I decided I was never going to drink alcohol again. And I wasn't like a raging alcoholic, but I definitely
Yeah.
like getting jacked up. I like spending money. I like buying other people drinks. And I decided I was going to stop smoking cigarettes and stop drinking alcohol. And 4 months after that, my partners called me and wanted to open this deal. And the floodgates opened of people calling me. And it wasn't because I stopped drinking. It was
Yeah.
because now I was prepared and now I was ready. My higher power was going to be able to take me on this path of helping others. And now I own several businesses and I still work for Kip and I love it. He pays me really well. I really enjoy. Me and him own some other stuff together. Me and Tim own this with the two amazing John and Johns that are behind the scene.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
we've just started a couple other businesses. And everybody believes in me. One gutter guard, these people like, you're willing to come on and talk to me. And so I just want to encourage people, if you ever feel like you're not worth enough or you're not doing enough, that maybe you just need to make a little adjustment or two in your life so that you're able to receive what's coming to you. And then, not self-proclaimed, here I am. I'm the biggest gutter influencer in the United States of America.
Yeah, man.
Remember what influencer means too, people. Doesn't mean I got all the answers, all the stuff. Influencer means that you can talk somebody into buying something. And I have very strong products behind me. Some of them are here in the room, some aren't.
Yeah.
And I influence people on how to make better margins. There's two ways to make money in the gutter business. One of them is to rip off your employees and keep more of the money. That don't work.
Nope.
One of them is get to know your margins and partner with Spectra Metals
Yeah,
or
buddy.
whoever your guy is and get the bag. And then pay your guys even more and have them stick around because retention is the biggest killer of your pockets.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me, man?
Or
The
lack of
amount of
retention,
money,
I should say, of course.
the amount of money that you spend sourcing new employees, training new employees.
Ooh,
I mean, dude, the
losing
waste.
sleep overnight
Oh
over new
god,
employees. Jesus.
dude. Callbacks. Are you kidding me? You know, people are, oh
Oh
man,
my
what you don't
goodness.
have to pay me on the callback. It's like, no, but I had to pay the wear and tear on the truck. I had to pay the gas, I had to pay the tolls, you know, and not only that, but the lost time. Like you could be making more money, but now we gotta go back.
Cost of a callback, would you agree, is about $1,000?
Oh,
And I'd
easy.
love to have another conversation with you about that off the record, or we'll do it again. Cost of a callback, ladies and gentlemen, is around $1,000 because of what you said: the drive, the gas, the toll, the helper that maybe wasn't on that callback, right? And now he's got to
Yeah.
ride in the truck, etc. But you're not somewhere else making money. So, oh, the callback only takes an hour and a half. I don't know. My guys, one of my trucks today did 3,000, was off by 11:30. Yesterday they did 3,400, was off by 11:30. That's about
Yeah.
$1,000 if they're somewhere jerking around for an hour and a half or two or 45 minutes.
Oh, easy,
It's
man.
annoying.
Easy.
It's
I mean,
annoying.
you gotta, I don't know. So many people they don't pay attention to the small things, right? And you have to.
Yep.
Now, especially because like for me, so if if I send a team back on a callback, right? And there's a guy that has to go along for the ride. Well, a lot of times he has to help, right? So you got to pay that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah, you do.
you don't necessarily pay the tech that was out there in the first place that messed up.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, you can't just have that guy sitting dead time. And maybe that is because I came from an installer background that I care more about that, you know, and actually
Amen.
we just did quarterly reviews and Damien was like, hey, so what was this charge for? Okay, well, why did we pay this person for this? And you have to go through and explain,
Because that's the
you know,
right thing to do.
yeah. I mean, that's how you retain people. That's how you retain talent. That's how your guys feel appreciated, right? Because that was one of
Yeah.
my biggest, that was a big gripe with me whenever I was an installer, right? Is that my managers would come around and go, oh, thank you for knocking it out of the park, man. We really appreciate you. I'm like, great, appreciate me. You know,
That's
let
the
me see some.
only reason we're here is this.
Yeah.
This is not for glitz and glamour. The owners are here to make money. Management is here to make money. The guys are here to make money. I have to tell, and um, I tell people all the time, like, I'm on the side of the installers. I was an installer. I'm never gonna not take care of my installers first and foremost. Now, it doesn't mean I'm gonna abuse the company and their money and overpay, you know, but the installers are gonna come first. And what happens when I do that? I have this amazing culture that I have. And then back to that quarterly review we just did, where it's all thumbs up, and
Oh
the boss
man.
knows, okay, well, we could have saved $5,800 in payouts, or I could just still make a really good living and have everyone at my company happy.
Yeah.
So greed, and having the biggest balls in the room. There's a lot of guys. Just to make a wild assumption here, like, what do I know? The majority, not all, the majority, not all of the people that I know that sub out all their work because they can't fucking keep their employees.
Oh God, man. I
Not
look,
all, not
talk.
all. There's certain models, I get it, but I know these guys are like, oh man, I sub out all my stuff. Yeah, because you yap too much. You got to have the biggest, you know what, in the room, or your cojones guy. You know everything. No one else. That's why you don't get to actually tell people what to do, and you
Yeah.
got to depend on other people. It's because
Well,
you're a jerk.
they think they're going to come in and reinvent the way that the gutter business happens and that, you know, they figured something out that nobody else knows, right? And that's just not true. Right? Now, if you want to make a quick buck, sure, yeah, sub it all out, you know. And look, it's not like we don't ever use subs, right? But because
100%. I
look,
don't.
I can't send my home crew, 4 hours away to go and stay in a hotel for a week, to go do some jobs where whenever I know that I've got a couple of subs that they're already down in that area. Now, of course,
There's a time and a
you have to
place
vet
for
these
sure.
guys. You have to
Yeah.
vet these guys, and I only use them on commercial projects. If anything that's
Hmm.
residential that's going to directly affect my top line, my bottom line, my reviews,
Yeah.
right? Because we've been able to do something spectacular. Is like from because we didn't start Gutter Masters, right? We bought it, took over.
Okay.
It She was failing pretty hard, man. I mean, it was. Um,
Who
I
was
think
the old owner of that?
uh,
Do you know? You don't have to say the name.
I do know the guy. I don't want to say his name just because if you do a
Yeah.
Google search and where he was from, then look, if you do a Google
Yeah.
search on my company's name and dig into the
Oh, of
history,
course. Yeah. No, I
you'll
know.
see
I
why
know.
he
I know about
sold.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you'll know why he sold. But he front loaded this business with a bunch of trash. I mean, all
Hmm.
$350, $4 a foot. I mean, are you kidding
Yep.
me? I
Hmm.
think the only time that I sold for $350 a foot was whenever I first started selling gutters in 2015, and that's because that's what the owner told me to sell at, right? But no, it's God dang it, I lost my place. But
I apologize. You were
no,
talking
no, you're
about
good.
subs. You use subs when they're
Yeah,
3, 4 hours
so
away. Listen, subbing's not bad either. I didn't want to
no,
claim that. I just know a lot of people around the country that didn't used to sub and now they only sub. And for the most part, these guys are kind of jerks.
yeah,
Definitely, it's a fabulous model. It can work and you can be a saint. I'm not taking shots at subs. I'm just
oh
saying, you
no.
know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah, and look, we all start somewhere,
Yeah.
right? I've seen guys brag about,
And some
how they
people
did.
end somewhere too.
Yeah, right. I've seen guys brag about, oh man, I sold 400,000 last year and I didn't even leave my house. It's like, don't you think you could have probably tripled that if you got out and talked to people? If you didn't use
Hmm.
subs for everything. I mean, look, I know it's comfortable sitting at home. God knows I pay enough for my house. Like I like to be home too, but you got to get out. You got to do stuff. And if you
Yeah.
really want to grow your business, right? If you want to go from 65 reviews to 260 reviews and
Let's
a
go.
year and a half,
Yep.
that's how you do it. I mean, on average, we get 3 or 4 reviews a week, and
Yeah. Awesome.
that's that's without me playing games with the guys right now. So that's one of the biggest ways that I was able to produce production last year was we started playing
Hmm.
games. We all came up with kind of the rules of the games, right?
Yep.
There's so many points attributed to every level of the game, and
Yep.
depending on what you do or don't do, right? So there's a bunch of ways that you can earn points, a couple ways that you could lose points, and then you incentivize your guys. But in doing that, one of those things were 5-star reviews. And I swear to
Yep.
God, man, I've got one crew that I don't know what their sauce is. Like if I could just take those guys and rub them on my other crews, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
they get 4 or 5 reviews a week without trying. I say, what's your
I'm a-
secret?
I
What's
want
your
to send you
secret?
a video. I want to send you a video. I'll email it to you,
All right.
and then you show your team. And right, people are built differently, so not everybody can rise to the occasion. It's a 15
Yeah.
minute video. It's exactly the sauce. It is the sauce because I'm that guy with reviews. There's other things I wasn't great at. Review. I'm definitely a review king. I mean,
Oh
speaking
yeah.
of reviews, I want to shout out Therion. Oh, this hurts me. Therion. Damn it, and Mike too. They both get big screen TVs this week for their review competition.
What?
Yeah, I'm not super happy about it. I'd rather not have the reviews. I gotta go by. Yeah, no, I love it. I'm totally joking. So Kip, this is what we do at our company. I mean, tools, like so much awesome stuff. I don't mean we hand out a drill every 5 weeks. I mean, I'm throwing tools every meeting.
Oh yeah.
Every meeting. Tools. We have a whole closet full of tools. But every now and then we go, Kip said on Tuesday at the meeting, he goes, I don't know, I got this 45 or 50-inch big screen TV that I want to give away. We've given other TVs away too.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do. And of course, the helper's like, well, that's just going to go to the lead. What about me? And I said, I'm a giver. Like I just did the drill thing on Easter. I gave a drill away. The gutter guy down in South Texas won it. The
Okay.
gutter growth. I mean, we do a lot. They don't pay for that. That's me. I just wanted to give away a drill. I wanted some engagement. So for the helper, I'm like, I'll personally go buy you a big screen TV. So you guys, company gives one, I give one.
Man,
Man,
how
I'm so
backwards is
proud of
that,
these
right?
guys.
Though, like you get into business to make money, and then you get to a certain level where all you want to do is give stuff away.
I just
You
want
know?
my guys to be happy. I'm so blessed right now. I'm never been
Oh,
more blessed in my life, financially, spiritually, emotionally, my family, my circle around me, getting to know and talk with guys like you. This is much bigger than me, and I just want to continue to use my platform to be a leader and to continue to learn discipline from guys like you and to work on my mindset because I'm human and I live in the flesh and it goes like this. And
oh
I
yeah.
really appreciate you talking with me today and I can't wait to do it again.
Oh man. So at some point I gotta fly out there and we'll do this thing live. All right. So
Yeah,
that
100%. I'm in
don't get me
Florida
wrong.
often. I'm in Florida in 2 weeks. I'm doing a commercial shooting there. You know, I'm affiliated with Mr. Pipeline.
Yeah.
So I'll be down there, but we're just flying in. We're starting a new business. So me and Kip, and we're bringing our wives, and then the whole
Okay.
entire Gutter Girl team. We're meeting up. We're gonna do some paperwork and some stuff. We're starting another business. You'll hear about that very soon.
Nice.
Um, but I got to come and see Ryan. So I got to come spend some time with Ryan and you. And Ryan's supposed to be buying that $250,000 boat or a helicopter in the next week or two.
Yeah,
So
man.
let's
I
just
know.
burn up some gas on that thing.
Bro. Well, I what is it? Sailfish Alley isn't too far away from here, brother. Right out of
Where are you at?
Jupiter.
Well, yeah,
So,
where are you?
well,
I was gonna say,
so I actually live in Deltona, but so a
okay,
buddy of mine owns a V hull or whatever offshore boat center
mm-hmm.
console,
Biggin.
and
Yep,
yeah, man, and we've gone out to Jupiter a couple times and gone
so
out.
nice in Jupiter. Yeah,
Dude, the
yeah, it's so
fishing over in
nice.
Sailfish Alley, dude, is freaking
I
awesome,
know
man.
about it.
And
It's wild.
it's some of the fish you catch out there, man, are huge. I mean, it's you're fighting them for 15, 20 minutes,
It's
and you're
pretty
talking about a
insane.
kid that grew up fishing on the shore, catching a little bass. You think you got something on the hook. Then you pull in
Uh
something that
huh.
weighs, 20, 30 pounds. And you feel like you got into a fight.
I feel like I got into a fight because I had the last week when I was driving the excavator and I was
Yeah.
jerking around and my traps were all sore and my
Oh,
thighs
man.
and I was whining like a little schoolgirl the next 2 days. Like, anyway, Robert, Rob, right? It's Rob, not Robert. I
Rob,
always
Robert,
remember.
whatever you want to call me, brother. Grant, thank you
What
very
what
much
do
for
they
having me on
what do
here.
they call you when they're super happy with you?
Uh,
Big Daddy.
Hey, there you go. That's what my wife calls me. No,
Oh,
look, just a gutter guy, Rob the gutter guy, whatever you want to call me, man. It's
yeah.
like I said, I put no value on titles, right? I put value in my effort, my accomplishment, what I've done for other people. But yeah, so Rob, Robert, whatever you want to call me, brother. It's totally your whatever you want to do there. But again,
I'm
thank you
gonna
for
call you.
having me on.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
call you brother.
hey,
Brother,
there we go. Well,
well, brother, do us
it
some
is
here, brother.
Florida. It is Florida, right?
It's Florida.
That's right.
I
Hey
was
man,
a
we got the
I was a
Hulkster down here.
I was a huge fan. I've met him several times when he was wild, and now that he's kind of calmed down, I've definitely met the guy a couple times. It was an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to do it again. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your evening.
You too, man. Have a good one.